The earth turns, and long before the first pale rays of the sun can pierce the eastern horizon, the most magnificent wetland ecosystem on our planet begins to stir. Welcome to the Brazilian Pantanal. In my 20 years of field research, I've learned that true wilderness doesn't simply wake up. It reveals itself in the quiet, pre-dawn shadows. At 5 in the morning, a cool, muted blue light permeates the thick morning mist. The atmosphere is profoundly heavy, laden with the intense humidity of a wild biome sustained by relentless seasonal rains. Here, the elusive ocelot moves like a phantom through the wet reeds. This beautifully patterned survivor, equipped with highly sensitive night vision, concludes its solitary nocturnal patrol, slipping effortlessly through the pristine wild. Today, I am taking you deep into this immense, untamed emerald labyrinth. You will witness a high-energy theater of survival where every passing hour dictates who lives, who hunts, and who hides. As the gray dawn finally breaks, lifting the veil of mist to reveal an overcast sky, the true scale of this biodiversity hotspot reveals itself. Above, hidden within the dense riparian canopy, the forest awakens. A majestic troop of black howler monkeys slowly stretches their limbs against the mossy bark, their low, guttural rumbles acting as a gentle prelude to the breaking day. To survive here, evolution has forced magnificent adaptations. Look at the towering jaguar stork, an avian giant with a massive bill, stalking deliberately through the floating water hyacinths. It moves with a calculated splashing, its beak a lethal instrument against the silverfish darting in the shallow waterways. Further out, in the deep expanse of the flooded plains, a male marsh deer wades elegantly. Look closely at its legs. Its specialized, splayed hooves are an evolutionary marvel, preventing the heavy mammal from sinking into the deep underwater silt, allowing it to forage freely on rich aquatic vegetation. By mid-morning, the sprawling ecosystem transitions into a frantic surge of vitality. Up in the dense riverbank canopy, the leaves come alive with the incredible acrobatics of tufted capuchins. Their hyper-focused intelligence is on full display as mothers carrying clinging infants leap effortlessly across wide gaps, while others utilize thick wooden branches as anvils, repeatedly smashing palm nuts with rhythmic, echoing thuds. Down in the shallow flats, a breathtaking burst of brilliant pink cuts through the muted waterways. A magnificent flock of roseate spoonbills sweeps their uniquely spatulate bills in a continuous arc, capturing crustaceans with a speed born of specialized nerve endings that snap shut the instant prey is touched. Patience is a weapon here. A rufescent tiger heron stalks methodically, flawlessly mimicking a dead reed in the wind, before striking violently downward with the breathtaking speed of a coiled spring. Overhanging the calm riverbed, a vibrant ringed kingfisher plummets downward like a living dart, emerging triumphant to beat its silverfish prize against the hard wood. High in the fruit-bearing canopy, the peculiar toko toucans hop clumsily. Their incredibly oversized orange bills are a true evolutionary marvel, perfectly designed for tossing distant fruits into their throats and acting as massive thermal radiators to slowly shed body heat. On the drier, grassy edges, a solitary giant anteater sweeps its tubular snout through dew-soaked grass. Armed with terrifying front claws, it tears into termite mounds, its long, sticky tongue darting out to consume insects before the soldier ants can even mobilize. In this wetland, peace is merely an illusion. On the slick mud, an immense herd of capybaras, the largest rodents on Earth, rests in absolute stillness. Sensing the rising, humid warmth, they instinctively take to the open, murky water in a beautiful, unified swimming line. Even the youngest pups paddle with innate grace, guided safely by attentive mothers and monitored closely by dominant males acting as sentinels, fully prepared to release a sharp alarm bark at the first sign of peril. Meanwhile, forcefully pushing through the thick tropical broadleaf undergrowth, a colossal South American tapir bulldozes toward the cooling river. Resembling a relic from a prehistoric age, it uses its highly flexible prehensile snout to delicately strip fresh leaves, standing completely frozen at the slightest unfamiliar sound. Out on the drier, grassy edges, the stilt-legged maned wolf pants rapidly. The canid relies heavily on evaporative cooling, its remarkable evolutionary height keeping its vital organs just above the hottest layers of stagnant air. While its oversized, tufted ears act as highly tuned radar dishes to shake off swarms of wetland flies. High above this drama, adding a brilliant burst of cobalt blue, a pair of hyacinth macaws navigates the bare branches of a massive dead tree. Their immense, hydraulic-like beaks effortlessly cracking the hardest palm nuts. But profound peril is never far away in the Emerald Labyrinth. The capybaras share a remarkably uneasy truce with the armored guardians of the shallows, the Yacare Caiman. Thousands of these prehistoric reptiles congregate along the muddy edge, their dark, heavily armored scales emerging from the murky depths. Beneath the vibrant surface, ancient danger slithers silently. A beautifully camouflaged yellow anaconda slips its massive coils down a muddy bank, instantly transforming from a sluggish land dweller into a highly agile aquatic predator. Deep beneath the dark shadows of a muddy overhang, a colossal green anaconda waits with terrifying patience, feeling the subtle vibrations of every passing wading mammal. Suddenly, the morning is shattered by the highly synchronized splashing of the river wolves. A hyperactive family of giant river otters dives synchronously into the deep currents to flush out schools of aggressive red-bellied piranhas. They dispatch the heavily armored fish with violent shakes of the head, their bone-crunching jaws echoing loudly, before engaging in joyous wrestling matches over submerged logs. Then, the undisputed monarch of this aquatic kingdom steps from the deep green thicket, a heavily muscled jaguar. Weighing well over 250 pounds, radiating power, unmatched grace, and a cold, calculating gaze. It leaps effortlessly over massive rotting logs, pausing to forcefully scratch its thick claws down the rough bark, leaving deep, violent marks as a constant, chilling warning. As it bends its thick neck to lap the brown river water, a profound silence falls. Every living creature takes silent note of the apex predator. When the sun slowly climbs to reach its zenith, the flat, natural midday light presses down relentlessly with an oppressive, suffocating wave of intense tropical heat. The frantic energy abruptly evaporates. Survival now depends entirely on finding shade. Moving deliberately away from the glaring sun, the giant anteater lowers its coarse-haired body onto cool dirt, draping its massive bushy tail over its body as a biological thermal blanket. The thicket's ghost, the solitary ocelot, sleeps completely undetected within the pitch-black confines of a massive hollow log, or draped entirely across a mossy branch, maximizing airflow over its camouflaged fur. Even the hyperactive river otters surrender, retreating into the dark, damp, subterranean interior of their muddy burrows, curling into a tangled pile of sleeping bodies, snoring in synchronization. Deep within the darkest brush, the ultimate apex predator pants relentlessly. The unmatched lethal bite force of the jaguar is temporarily neutralized by the overwhelming climate. In a rare display of total dominance, the giant cat lazily rolls onto its back, exposing its vulnerable pale belly to the cooler earth. Closing its golden, unblinking eyes, a slow, incredibly deep purr echoes softly. In this sweltering heat, a delicate, exhausted, silent truce falls unconditionally. But as the merciful cooling afternoon breeze begins to sweep across the marshlands, the ecosystem collectively exhales. The immense herd of capybaras stands up almost in unison, arching their heavy backs like giant dogs before their partially webbed feet sink deeply into the soft afternoon mud. The biological signal is sent. The Yacare Caimans simultaneously drag their sun-baked, scute-covered bodies down the steep slopes, transforming back into silent aquatic predators. The last of the daylight finally surrenders entirely to the creeping shadows. A stunning, dusty, muted palette of deep orange and bruised purple clouds dominates the sky. It is twilight in the Pantanal, a fleeting, magical time of terrifying beauty and rapidly shifting ecological power. High in the darkening canopy, troops of black howler monkeys begin their deafening evening chorus. Powerfully amplified by enlarged throat sacs, an awesome vibrating declaration of territory. The diurnal creatures hastily retreat. A bonded pair of hyacinth macaws launches powerfully, their cobalt blue plumage glowing spectacularly against the twilight. Their raucous calls a final farewell to the dying day. Now, the absolute masters of the night take over. The elusive ocelot, its large golden pupils dilating beautifully, stalks with flawless, lethal precision, executing a lightning-fast pounce before vanishing back into the pitch-black undergrowth. The intelligent giant river otters swiftly return to their burrows. Scraping fresh, wet clay over the entrance to fortify their home against night terrors. Out in the vast, cooling darkness, the majestic male marsh deer grazes. Every single muscle perfectly tense, its breath condensing visibly in the dropping temperature as it listens for the slightest out-of-place splash. Gliding completely silently, the colossal green anaconda wraps its lower coils around a submerged log, tasting the chemical signatures of the night air with its forked tongue, waiting with infinite patience. Along the horizon, the maned wolf rears up on its long hind legs to pluck seasonal fruits, ears swiveling. Only the terrifying, glowing eyes of the Yacare Caimans remain visible. But there is one who fears absolutely nothing. Emerging deliberately from the pitch-black thicket, the majestic jaguar steps directly into the dark, murky water. Flexing its dense, powerful shoulders against the strong current, it swims right down the center of the dark channel. As it exhales a mist of warm breath, its beautifully patterned face reflects the bruised purple and gold clouds. A distant low rumble of thunder rolls across the plains. In this hauntingly beautiful, completely untamed wilderness, the jaguar swims steadily onward. The flawless, unchallenged, and undisputed king of the Brazilian Pantanal. Until the earth turns and the labyrinth awakens once more, I will see you on our next journey.